Hey y'all, it's attorney Dion Michelle Green with Love, Life, and the Law, and this is under the love subsection. This is called Happily Married, Happily Divorced. Now listen, I take my hat off, not only to people that are happily married, but people that can work together and live together. Lord have mercy. I met some people that were running a food truck and they were just so cute. She was taking the orders and after she took the order, he went back there and cooked the food and they were just kind of chilling, just hanging out. I said, girl, I'm going to have to sit down with you and find out what the secret is. See, I didn't make it. I married my high school sweetheart and I still love him to this day. But if you watch the other segment, it's who got the problems that you can live with. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I wasn't the one that had problems he could live with, and he wasn't the one that had problems that I could live with. So we went off and lived our life separately. But let me tell you this. I know people that have been married 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I am so absolutely enthralled with the concept that they can make it that far, that long, and still be happy with each other. I'm not talking about those folks that are biting each other's head off, talking bad about each other, sleeping in separate rooms, living in separate houses in different states and cities. Listen, it happens. I'm just saying, those aren't the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who are still acting like they just met. The guy or the girl that knows you have to do the same things to keep him or her that you did to get him or her. I am absolutely amazed at how incredible these folks are. Now, I'm no counselor. I know a few people who are. I know a few. And what I will tell you is, if you're not doing well, go get counseling. That'll be a separate segment, but go get some counseling. I'm going to tell you the 4 subjects that I spoke with people who have lasted a long time and that I've read about that talk about how a relationship can last. There are 4 things that you should actually have a clear understanding about before you make that leap, before you make that life choice with somebody. 1 is money. I need to have an understanding about money. Who's going to be in control of it? And I don't mean that nobody else can spend money. One of the things that I heard was in a household, if one person makes 30%, the other person makes 70%, then that's how the bills should be broken down. The person who makes 30% pays 30% of the bills. The person who makes 70% pays 70% of the bills. But one person can't, 2 people can't control the checkbook. So whatever the household checkbook is, if 2 people are trying to control that, you're probably gonna be short. But what if you have your work account, that person has their work account, and their checks are going into that work account, and then you put the money in 30% from that account, 70% from that account, and then you can use it to pay the house bills, to invest for the future. And then each one of you still have some money so that you can maneuver and do things for each other. So you don't want to have to ask your spouse to take money out of the family account so that you can do something special for that person. Okay? So 1 is money. The second thing is religion. Now, again, remember, I'm not a counselor. I'm going off of what I've been told by some people that have made this thing work and some people who have written about this extensively. So the next thing is religion. I was with somebody who I'm a Christian, spiritually, non-denominational, and that person was a Jehovah's Witness. When we really started to compare our values, there were a lot of things that didn't match up. This is nothing bad about Protestants. It's nothing positive about non-denominational Christians. It's nothing bad about Jehovah's Witnesses. It's nothing positive about Jehovah's Witnesses because it's not about the religion itself. My point is that you want to know fundamentally where you 2 stand, so that later on, when you're raising children or when you're attempting to figure out how you're going to get married or where you should go worship or whatever the case may be, there's not some infighting. Okay? So the next thing would be children. Do you want to have any? How many? Don't you want to have any? Why? Think about being married to somebody and your whole goal in getting married was to have children, to find out later that that person doesn't want to have children. Now, it's different if you can't have children. Then, maybe you can get a surrogate, maybe you can adopt. But the point of the matter is that if you don't know that ahead of time, all that love that you have, it can twist and turn in a matter of in an instant. So, children. And then the last one is sex. Now, look, that might seem like an interesting one to have in there in those four, but the truth of the matter is that if one person wants to be intimate, 5 times a week, and the other person wants to do it 5 times a month, maybe the person that wants to be intimate 5 times a week starts to look for somebody that's gonna give them what they want for 5 times a week. Now, let me say this. That doesn't mean that you have an excuse to go out and cheat. My whole point is if you discuss this beforehand, and not in the heat of passion, but after y'all have known each other for a little while and you realize that we really do dig each other and all this other kind of stuff, and hopefully you kept your gift, right? You're not just giving this thing away willy-nilly, but you find out that that person maybe doesn't have the same ideas that you do. So the question is, how are you gonna be? Are you gonna be the happily married person, or are you gonna be like me and be happily divorced? And ain't nothing wrong with either one of them, but at least you can figure it out. Now, I'm not saying that the information I gave you is the end all to be all, but it's a place to start. Wish I had it before I started. So, y'all know, I don't know everything, but I do know a lot about a little and a little about a lot. But the biggest thing I know is you gotta keep God up top. It's your girl, Dion Michelle, happily divorced. For love, life, and the law. Ciao.